Welcome back to another class on Gemara Journey with Rashi. Hopefully everyone had an amazing winter break, spending time with their families, getting some rest, recharging their batteries to be able to better serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Today we're going to continue in Masechet Berachot and Daf amud Aleph. This will be part 2 of the Shi'ur. Before we begin today's class, I want to go back and review part 1 of the Shi'ur, because as you'll see, it has something to do with part 2 of the Shi'ur. But I'm not going to go over the verses. I'm not going to even translate the verses, because you have to better understand what the verses mean through using the book in the back, the Sefer Mikraot. We did it in part 1 of the Shi'ur. So if you didn't listen to part 1 of the Shi'ur, please listen to part 1 and then come back to part 2 of the Shi'ur. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak. Rabbi Yitzchak said, Kol hakoreh kriyat Shema al mitato. Anyone who's going to recite the reciting of the Shema on his bed, Ki'ilu ochez cherev shel shtei piyot biyado. It's as if he's holding a double-edged sword in his hand. Rashi says, why are we saying that it's as if he's holding a double-edged sword in his hand? Laharog ed hamazikin, to kill the damagers, meaning the spiritual damagers. Shanimah, like the pasuk says, Remomot el bigronam vecherev pipiyot biyadam. The Gemara asks a question. My mashma, has that implied? Rashi says, my mashma, if you look into the Hagota Bach in Ot Bet, he says you have to add the word smach. So we're going to put that word smach into the Rashi, where the letter Ot Bet is. And he says like this, my mashma smach de bikri shema. Has that implied that it's a support of Kriya Shema? Meaning, from where do we see from the verse when it says, Romomot el bigronam, Vecherev pipiyot biyadam? How do we see that this is a support for one who recites Shema in his bed, that it's as if he's holding a double-edged sword to kill the mazikim? From where do we see it? From that verse. Amar Marzutra said, Ve'itema Rav Ashi, and some say it was Rav Ashi, Meresha di inyana, from the beginning of the verse, meaning from the beginning of the matter. Dichtiv, like the pasuk says, Ya'alzu chasadim b'chavod yiranenu al meshkevotam. Uchti batren, it's written right afterwards. Rememot el bigronam v'cher pepiyot biyadam. So we see clearly over here when it says that the chasadim, they would praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu on their beds, and right after that it says, and they would hold a double-edged sword. So too with us, when we say Kriyat Shema on our beds, it's as if we're holding a double-edged sword. V'amar Rabbi Yitzchak, and Rabbi Yitzchak said, Kol hakoreh kriyat Shema al mitato. Anyone who recites the reciting of the Shema on his bed, mazikin bidilin hemenu. The mazikin, the spiritual damagers, they stay away from him. How do we know? Shenema, because the pasuk says, Ubnei reshev yagbihu uf. If we look into Rashi, when he says Ubnei reshev yagbihu uf, ha-uf misalkam mimcha. The uf, which which the Gemara first is going to explain to say that uf is the Torah. In our scenario, it's the Kriyat Shema, which are words of Torah. By saying Kriyat Shema on one's bed, you remove the spiritual damages from you. If you look into Ot Dalet in the Hagota Bach, he says you have to read it like this. Ha'uf misalek mimcha. Instead of saying misalkam, he says you should say misalek. That is the proper grammar. The uf, which is the Torah, it removes from you et b'nei reshev, which are the mazikin, the spiritual damagers. So let's look into Rashi one more time. Ubnei reshev yagbihu uf, ha'uf misalek mimcha et b'nei reshev. The Torah, meaning the words of the Kriyat Shema, which are words of the Torah, they remove from you the spiritual damagers. Back into the Gemara continues. Ve'en uf ela Torah, and we know the word uf, it means Torah. How do we know uf means Torah? Shenamar, like the pasuk says, Hata'if einecha bo ve'enenu. Rashi says on that, Hata'if einecha bo, im tichpol v'sagarte einecha b'Torah. If you blinked and you closed your eyes in the Torah, if you look into Haggaot Abach and Ot Gimel, he says this is how you have to learn this Rashi. Dibra matchil hata'if v'chulu, b'Torah asof dibur. Once you see the word b'Torah in Rashi, that is the end of the sentence. You have to put a period over there. Ve'achar kach matchil dibur ve'enenu. And afterwards begins the word ve'enenu. Then you have to read the whole thing. Hi mishkachat mimcha. So let's see the Rashi with the amendment of the Haggaot Abach. Ubenei, no, hata'if enecha bo. Im tichpol v'sagarte enecha b'Torah. If you blinked and you closed your eyes in the Torah, period. Ve'enenu, add those words ve'enenu. What does it mean? Hi mishtakachat mimcha. It's going to be forgotten from you. Again, we discussed this in part 1 of the severity of not doing chazarot, not reviewing your learning Torah. Continues the Gemara. Ve'en uf elo Torah. The word uf means Torah. Sherma, like the pasuk says, Hata'if enecha bo ve'enenu. Ve'en reshev, and we know that the word reshev means elo mazikim. It only means spiritual damagers. Sherma, how do we know it? Because it says in the pasuk, Mezei ra'av uluchmei reshev v'ketev miriri. Uluchmei reshev, we said that it was the spiritual damagers. V'ketev miriri, Rashi says, what is ketev miriri? Ze shem shed hatoharaim. It's the name of the demon, of the afternoon demon. Masechet Pesachim Daf Kuf Yud Aleph amud bed. That's on page 111, side 2. So we see it from over here. When it says Ubnei Reshev Yagbihu Uf, we know that the Reshev is the spiritual damagers, and the Uf is the Torah. In our scenario, Uf is Kriyat Shema. What does the Uf do to the Bnei Reshev? The Uf, which are the words of the Kriyat Shema, they keep away the Bnei Reshev, which are the spiritual damagers. So we see from over here, what is Rabbi Yitzchak telling us? He's teaching us two important facts. Fact number 1, a person who recites Kriyat Shema on his bed, he keeps away the spiritual damages from him, and also he says it's as if he's holding a double-edged sword and he's killing the mazikin. Now, Rabotai, we are beginning today's class of where we wanted to begin with. Very, very important piece of Gemara, where a lot of people should try to understand this Gemara and try to digest it, allow it to sink in, because a lot of us feel that the reason why there are problems in chas v'shalom lo leinu in a person's life, maybe with children, raising the children the wrong way, chas v'shalom, maybe they're off their derech, or maybe parnasa is not going well, or maybe problems with their wife. People feel that if they don't cheat, they don't steal, they daven mincha shacharit aravi, they put on tefillin, they keep Shabbat, they feel that they're doing their best, they're good Jews. But Rabotai, it's not only about not cheating on your wife, or not eating that kosher, or not chas v'shalom keeping Shabbat. It's nothing. This is all good. But there's one avera that we overlook, and that is the bittul Torah. And that is wasting time when it comes to learning Torah. And I want to just show you today the severity of not learning Torah, but at the same time, the benefits of learning Torah. This piece, you should share it with your wives. Because you have to understand, when a person learns Torah, we'll see today, you don't understand what Torah can do for you. What Torah can do for you, no insurance policy can do. Let me read it for you. Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. Rabbi Shimon, the son of Lakish, said, Kol ha'osek b'Torah. Anyone who toils in Torah. Stop right there. What does it mean? Kol ha'osek b'Torah. What does those words mean? Anyone who toils. Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish did not say anyone who learns Torah, kol halomed Torah. He doesn't say that. He says kol haosek batorah. That means if you have a person that he leaves his house and he goes and he listens to a chumash shiur or musar shiur or shalom bayit or something else, stories, I don't know, that is not being oisik in Torah. When you have sushi, Chinese food, pizza, I don't know what people eat today, in front of you at the time when you're learning Torah, that is not osik in Torah. You're learning Torah, but you're not osik, you're not toiling in Torah. And in order for what Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, in order for what he's saying to be true, it has to be osik, not just to learn. Learning is good when you're driving, when you're cleaning, when you're cooking, when you're making barbecue, you're listening to shiur, that's fine. Then you could learn, you could listen to shiur, no problem. But when it comes to oisik in Torah, you're able to sit and you're listening instead of having a book in front of you, that's a very big no-no. Listen to what Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish says. I'm Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. Rabbi Shimon, the son of Lakish, says, Kol ha'osek b'Torah, anyone who toils in Torah, yisurin bidilin hemenu. Yisurin, suffering, troubles, they stay away from him. Rabotai, did you hear what I just said? Well, not my words, Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. Anyone who toils in Torah, that means when you leave your wife, you leave your children, when you leave the house at night, and you go to listen to a shiur, you don't have this blessing, you don't have this guarantee. A person who's learning Torah, Yisurin still can come on him. A person who's toiling in Torah, Yisurin will not come on him. Rabotai, did you ever see a weightlifter? What does he do? Does he learn how to weightlift or does he weightlift? In order to become a weightlifter, you have to lift the weights. But if a person walks into the gym and he's just learning, so you have to pick up 200 pounds one day, 100, okay, 300 there. You have to bench press 500, okay, very good. He puts a protein bar in his mouth and he's keep on walking. You think he's going to become a weightlifter like that? Never in his life. If he doesn't take the action, there's never in his life he's going to become a weightlifter. In order to become a weightlifter, you got to start lifting those weights. In order to become a ben Torah, you have to start toiling in the Torah. You have to start lifting the words of the Chachamim, meaning understanding them. What do they want? Is it changing me as a person? That's real learning Torah, when you're weightlifting the Gemara, the Shulchan Aruch. Not sitting one leg on top of another with sushi in front of you and listening to the shiurim. No. That's like, you want to become a ben Torah. But like that, you'll never become a ben Torah. Goes from one ear, comes out the other, because there's no toil. How does the saying go? Easy come, easy go. When a person toils for his money, when he works hard for his money, it's very hard to let go. But when he gets, we've seen many times people that won lotteries, or they were given bonuses, they spend it like this. Easy come, easy go. But when something comes hard, it's hard to let go. Because you worked, you understand what it means. Same thing with Torah. If you don't work for the words of Torah, there's no reason why it should change you. There's no reason why it should penetrate your heart. But if you work and you toil and you break your head, since you toiled, now it's going to make a difference in you. Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, Rabbi Shimon the son of Lakish says, Kol ha'oseg b'Torah yisurim bidlin hemenu. Anyone who toils in Torah, the yisurim, they stay away from him. So learning Torah, Rabotai, is not toiling in Torah. So if you're learning Torah and you still have problems, you understand why. Because you're not toiling in Torah. Shenema, like the pasuk says, U'bnei reshev yagbiu uf. The same pasuk we had before. That's why I wanted to do them together. What did Rashi say before? Bnei Reshev yakbihu uf. Ha'uf misalkam mimcha et bnei Reshev. The uf, in this case, which is really Torah, is going to remove from you the bnei Reshev, which we'll see, they're going to define the bnei Reshev, meaning yisurin, suffering. Can you imagine a botai toiling in Torah? It removes suffering from you. You want to have good children, you want to have a good wife, you want to have a good parnasa, you want to get shalom bayit, whatever you want to have. All you got to do is sit down and toil in Torah. And by the way, just as a side point, if you're not toiling in Torah and doing anything else, there's no real pleasure in it. Amr Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish kol osek b'Torah yisurim b'dilim hemenu. Rabbi Shimon the son of Lakish said, anybody who toils in Torah, the yisurim, they stay away from him. Shenema, like the pasuk says, u'bnei Reshev yakbihu uf. Ve'en uf eila Torah, and the word uf means Torah. How do we know? Shenema, like we saw in the Rashi, hata ivenecha bo ve'enenu. Ve'en Reshev eila yisurin. And the word Reshev, what we defined it before, like mazikin, now we're learning it as yisurin. Shenema, like the pasuk says, mizei ra'av uluchmei reshev. Now, if you look into Rashi, what does Rashi say in this piece? Uluchmei reshev, kitiv ben ra'av l'mazikin. The word uluchmei reshev, if you look into Torah or Shalom, in Ot Chet, it says over there, mizei ra'av. Again, Abotai, I'm not doing this because I want you guys to also be diligent and, do your due diligence when it comes to learning Torah. We did this in part 1, so you have to already know what it is. That's why I said go listen to part 1. We already did all these pasukim. The pasukim which I didn't do, I will translate. Pasukim which I did, there's no need to translate. We have to Rabotai, upgrade. I went with my wife, Baruch Hashem, and I left all the kids at home. I want to spend time with my wife. It's very important, Rabotai, to give, everybody speaks about attention with the child. No, we were with the children also, a few days with the children, but then I went away with my wife to Panama. So whatever, I booked my tickets. So my brother calls me and he tells me, why don't you get an upgrade? I said, upgrade to what? He said, upgrade to business class. So I asked him how much it was more. Whatever, it was like $265 there, $295 back per person. I said, Mike, let's do it. Let me go. I want to be able to relax. I don't want, in the back it's crowded, especially Copa Airlines. It's very small. You got people sitting next to you. It's not the same. Rabotai, business class, you can't compare to that. I don't know what do you call that? Other class all the way in the back where people sit. But why am I trying to tell you? When you upgrade, you feel different. Just like you are able to upgrade in the plane from the back to the front, over here in Torah also, Rabotai, we have to start upgrading the way we learn. If we did something, I can say it simply in Hebrew. And you guys have to understand it already in English. And this is how you're going to pick up on the words. This is how you're going to learn. If I don't know if I told you this once before, one of the ways I ended up learning Hebrew is by listening to Rabbi Meir Eliyahu Shlita. How? By the way, back the shurim that he had when he was younger were 2 times the speed that he speaks now. So I used to drive to work. When I used to drive to work, I used to listen to him. So as I would listen to him, there's a lot of words that I wouldn't understand what he's saying. So what I would do, while I was in traffic, I would write them down, and when I would already come out, or even in traffic, I would try to Google them or look them up, and that little by little you learn Rabotai. And that's how little by little you pick up. I would listen to the same shir over and over until I would get it. Listening to Hebrew speakers allows you to go ahead and try to, Rabotai, upgrade and to be able to speak Hebrew also. I was one time in Israel, and I saw there were a guy, a Bukharian guy. I asked him, you know how to daven? No. I said, you know how to learn Shulchan Aruch? No. But I said, how do you speak fluent Hebrew? It was unbelievable. He's like, I'm here already 20 years. I said, but you don't know how to read, write nothing. He said, no, only speak. So you could pick up, Rabotai, listen to Rabbanim that speak Hebrew, and you'll pick up. In any event, Rabotai, all I'm just trying to tell us over here that we need to upgrade. It's nice in English, but the upgrade is much more beautiful when it's done in Hebrew. In any event, Rabotai, let's get back into the Gemara. So he says over here, if we look into Rashi, Rashi says, Uluchmei reshev kitiv ben ra'av limazikin. If we look into Torah Or Shalom, pay close attention what Torah Or Shalom does. It says, Miz'ei ra'av ulechamei reshev v'ketev miriri. If you pay close attention, the word ulechamei reshev is between the word Miz'ei ra'av and between the word v'ketev miriri. Miz'ei ra'av is the Yisurim, that's famine. V'ketev miriri is the shed, is the demons, which are the mazikin. So the word ulechamei reshev is between both of them. So comes Rashi and he tells you, ulechamei reshev kitiv ben ra'av lemazikin. It's written between famine and the damagers. Nidrash lefanav ulecharav. I can use the word reshev, I can use it before ulecharav, and I can use it afterwards. Meaning Yisurin umazikin, which are suffering or spiritual damagers, like this. When you see the word ulechamei reshev, what am I applying to the word reshev? Am I applying to the word reshev Yisurin, or am I applying to the word reshev mazikin? So since the word ulechamei reshev is between Miz'ei ra'av and v'ketev miriri, I can learn the reshev going before reshev, which is what? Yisurin, which is famine. Famine is suffering. Or I can learn reshev to mean the word that goes after it, which is v'ketev miriri, which is the name of the shed. That's why I did part 1 right now with you guys in order to connect the two. So comes over here, if you look, by the way, if you look back, just go back for a second, regarding the Shema, when it says over there that if a person says Kriya Shema in his bed, right, we said that the mazikin, they stay away from him. How do we know that the reshev over there is a spiritual damager? If you look carefully in the pasuk, it says, Shenemar, like the pasuk says, Miz'ei ra'av ulechamei reshev v'ketev miriri. It wrote over here v'ketev miriri to tell you, expound the word reshev after the word reshev, which are going on the demons, which are going on the mazikin. But if you look in our situation now, when it says reshev yisurin, what does it say? Shenemar miz'ei ra'av ulechamei reshev. It just tells you famine, and then it tells you ulechamei reshev. Where's the word v'ketev miriri? You don't need v'ketev miriri. Now you have to expound before the word reshev, which the reshev over here is going to mean yisurin. So you see how it works. The reshev can mean either or. It can mean mazikin, or it can mean yisurin. So Rabotai, let's go back one more time and do that. Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, Rabbi Shimon the son of Lakish said, Kol ha'osek b'Torah, anybody who toils in Torah, yisurin b'dilin hemenu, the sufferings they stay away from him. Shenemar, like the pasuk says, ubnei reshev yakbihu uf, ve'en uf ela Torah. Shenemar hata'if einecha bo ve'enenu, ve'en reshev ela yisurin. Shenemar miz'ei ra'av ulechamei reshev. So we see from over here, Rabotai, one who toils in Torah, Yisurin stay away from him. How do we know that? Because the word uf is Torah, and it keeps away the Bnei Reshev, which are the Yisurin. Amali Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan said to Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, he says, what? What chiddush did you just tell me? What novelty did you just tell me? This is a novelty? Ha'afilu tinikot shel beit rabban yudi'in oto. Even small children, they know this Peshat. So what were you, Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, telling me? Kol ha'osek b'Torah yisurim b'dilim hemenu. What's the chiddush? Small children know this. Rabotai, look what Rashi says. Afilu tinikot shel beit rabban yudi'in. Even small children, they know this rule. She'atorah migina, that the Torah protects. Rabotai, even small children, they know this rule that the Torah protects. If the Torah protects, why aren't we learning it the way we're supposed to? Maybe because we don't believe it protects. Rabotai, small children know that the Torah protects. If they know that the Torah protects, a person from suffering and everything bad around him. Chas v'shalom lo oleinu, Rabotai. So what did Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish say? And from where did the children know that the Torah protects? So comes the Gemara continues, Shenemar, like the Pasuk says, Vayomer, and he said, Moshe Rabbeinu said to the Jewish people, Im shemo tishma, if you're going to listen, L'kol Hashem Elokecha, to the voice of Hashem your God, Vayashar be'enav ta'aseh, and you're going to do what is straight in his eyes. Rabotai, I just want to share with you something. I don't know if I should say it, not say it, but I'll say it. While I was in Panama, right, so they had, I could give them the benefit of the doubt, but downstairs they had pools. So I was on the 22nd floor. And that hotel, it had 3 pools, like literally 3 pools. They had one pool, like all the way inside. Then they had maybe 10 feet, maybe 50 feet later, they had another pool, a middle pool. And then another 50 feet or maybe 20 feet, even more, you had what they call the eternity pool. I didn't know there's the eternity pool. What's an eternity pool? For those people that don't know, it's a pool that the pool water and the ocean water, they're level to level. So you feel like you're in the ocean, whatever it is. But between the eternity pool and the middle pool, there were a lot of trees. So you can't really see what's going on in the back over there. But these 2 pools were always empty. They were always empty. Maybe one time I saw maybe an old couple, maybe, I don't even know who they were. I was on the 22nd floor going to one of the pools. But it said that somebody told me that the 3rd pool is for old people. The middle pool is for young people, children. The last pool, the eternity pool, is where everybody goes. Okay. Why am I telling this, Rabotai? As we were there, early in the mornings, there's nobody there. Late at night, nobody was there. My wife asked me, she says, why don't you come? Right, come after shul. Right away, I went to Shavat Achim, very nice shul. And why don't you come and really quick, take a, what do you call it? Dive in, swim here 5-10 minutes, and then come back up. I said to my wife, what am I going to go? She said, what do I need it for? Maybe you have woman on the other side. Maybe a woman is going to come out. How am I supposed to know? She said, okay, so swim in the 3rd pool, swim in the 2nd pool. You have to be there. Whatever, I didn't want to take the chances. But why am I telling this, Rabotai? As I was coming down, on the last day we were leaving, there was a family that came up, not a Bukharan family, I don't know, maybe Ashkenazi family. And it was interesting that the husband asked me, he was with his wife and with his children. He asked me, do I know where the pool is? I know where the pool was. The pool was it says over there on the elevator. The pool is on the 13th floor. But to my surprise, I was surprised that the people would even attend a pool. Now in the pool, you don't have over there modest women. You have women that are dressed in modest. The Rabotai is nothing, it's common sense. And I was just wondering to myself, like, do we forget that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with us even when we go on vacation? Whatever, I said to myself, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I said maybe he's going to that 3rd pool, which is probably like 50 feet or 75 feet or if not more, away from the eternity pool where everybody else, and plus you have over there trees, he probably won't see anything. It's only a matter when you're coming in and out, you have people that are walking in, probably not modest. But that's not the problem, Rabotai. Why am I telling this? Because of here comes the pasuk, and Moshe Rabbeinu tells to the Jewish people, if we're going to listen to the voice of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we're going to do what is straight in his eyes, Vayashar be'enav tas, if we're going to do what is straight in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, ve'azanta le'mitzvotav, if you're going to listen to his mitzvot, ve'shamarta kol chukav, and you're going to listen to his laws, are we doing what is straight in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu when we are not in our environment? When we are away on vacation, are we doing what is straight or not? Or do we feel it is okay? My wife was down there, she said it was, when she was leaving, she saw there was a Hasidic man, I don't know Hasidic, I don't want to use the word Hasidic, I don't want to label people Chas v'shalom. But there was a person with piyot and a beard. Doesn't mean he has to be Hasidic. But he came downstairs. My wife said that when she was walking out, when he came downstairs, again, there was 3 pools. And he went to the pool where the eternity pool. Okay, I don't know why. I don't know why. But my wife's like to me, is like, why would he go to a pool where there are women or there? It's one thing, go to the second, third pool. There's empty, literally, I'm telling you, empty pool. Like nobody touches those pools. And I said to my wife, everybody has a Yitzhar. I can't listen. We can't. She's like, yeah, you're right. We're not going to judge them. Maybe he didn't see her. Maybe he didn't do that. But the honest truth is, Rabotai, we have to understand that we have to be Jewish even when we are away. And to say that it's okay to be in the swimming pool, even if you're with your wife, but you have to understand there's other women that are not modest there. In any event, Rabotai, this is it. This is a very big problem. Do we really do what is straight in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Because when you do what is straight in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and when you listen to his mitzvot, and you guard his laws, comes Moshe Rabbeinu and tells the Jewish people, Kol ha-machala asher samti b'Mitzrayim lo asim alecha. All the sicknesses which I have placed on the Egyptians, I will not place on you, ki ani Hashem rofecha. Because I am Hashem, your God, the healer. So, Rabotai, if we want to understand why do problems happen to us, it's because we're not doing what is straight in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In our situation right over here, why is Rabbi Yochanan bringing this pasuk? Because it clearly says that anybody's going to do what is straight in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is to toil in Torah, like it says in Parshat Bechukotai. It says, clear, Im Bechukotai telecho, and Rashi says, Im tiyu amelim batorah. Only then is Hashem going to bless you with rain and so on and so forth. So the question is, are we doing what is straight in the eyes of Hashem by toiling in Torah? Or are we doing what is easier for us, what's better in our eyes, by just learning Torah? So Rabbi Yochanan is telling Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, says, Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, I don't understand. It's a clear pasuk in the Torah, in Parshat Shemot, where the children know, anybody who learns Torah, the Torah protects them. So what is the novelty that you're saying, Rabbi Shimon? So comes Rabbi Yochanan now revises what Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish wanted to say. Eila, rather, if you look into Od Aleph in the Hagaot V'Tziyunim, it says B'Kitvi Yad in the writings of Rashi, in the handwritten writings of Rashi, it says over there, Eila Ema Hachi. Rather, you should say like this: Kol mi she'efshar lo. You have to add the word Eila Ema Hachi, and you have to add the word mi. So let's go back into the Gemara. Eila Ema Hachi. Rather say like this: Kol mi she'efshar lo la'asok b'Torah. For anyone who it's possible for them to toil in Torah, ve'eino osek, and he doesn't toil in Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mevi alav yusurim mechoarim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem himself is going to bring on him ugly suffering, ve'ochrin oto, and they're going to disturb him, they're going to consume him, they're going to trouble him. These problems are always going to be on his mind. He's not going to have a life, Rabotai, chas v'shalom. But why is that? The chiddush over here is not that if a person toils in Torah, the Yisurim stay away. That's pashut. One who toils in Torah, the Yisurim stay away from you. The greater chiddush is a one who's able to toil, and he doesn't toil, Hashem himself sees to it that he's going to punish the person with ugly sufferings that's going to trouble the person. Now, not only, Rabotai, is he not going to protect you from suffering, he himself will bring it on you, chas v'shalom. Can you imagine? Now, there's many ways you can understand this piece. One simple way I'll tell you is, how is it possible when you're learning with a Talmid Chacham or even by yourself, you're learning Torah and somehow you get a text message. You're able to be oisik, but you get distracted, you're not oisik. While learning Torah, Rabotai, you're able to oisik. And because of your friend that wants to speak to you about politics or whatever, or your phone or this or that, because of distractions, now you're not oisik. That's one way I can understand this Gemara. HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself is going to bring on you ugly suffering. Another way you can learn this Gemara, one who's able to oisik in the Torah, and he doesn't, he's able to learn Shulchan Aruch, Tur, Beit Yosef, right? Darkei Moshe, the Nosei Kelim. He's able to learn Gemara, Rashi, Tosafot, Rishonim, Achronim. He's able to learn it. But he decides he wants to go listen to Shalom Bayit class. He wants to go listen to Chumash class. He wants to go listen to I don't know, stories, midrashim, I don't know. Rabotai, you have to understand. I've seen this many times. The rule is ma'alin b'kodesh ve'en moridin b'kodesh. The rule is you go up in Kiddusha. You don't go down in Kiddusha. If you have a Gemara class, if you have a halacha class, not the regular halacha stam, Rabotai, regular in English. No, I'm talking about Shulchan Aruch, Tur Beit Yosef. Gemara, mamash, real Gemara, where you're learning inside. If you have these kind of classes, or you have set times to learn that type of Torah, you can't get up in that time and decide to learn Chumash, Mishnah, Midrash, Shalom Bayit. Absolutely not, Rabotai. When you're able to be oisik, what do you say? Nah, I'm good. Why? For what? The rabbi is speaking. Let me listen. Sushi, pizza, Chinese food. Hey, go rabbi. Wow, what a beautiful pasha. What a beautiful. I'm not telling you it's not good to learn what they're saying. Do it when you're driving, when you're cleaning, when you're working out, when you, I don't know, do it when you're cleaning your backyard. I don't know, do it some other time. But don't do it when you are able to oisik b'toira. That's another way you can learn it. Rabotai, this is a very serious statement. One who's able to be oisik in Torah and he doesn't toil in Torah, do you know what that means? HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees to it himself to bring suffering on the person? And we wonder, oh, why is my wife like this? Why is my children like this? Why is the financial situation like this? Why is my mother-in-law like this? Why is this like that? Why is it like that? Because you are able, you're really able to toil and you're not toiling. I can't, Rabbi. It's not for me. Yeah, did you try? When was the last time you tried? Rabotai, let's continue. Ela, rather, Rabbi Yochanan said, rather you have to say like this. Kol mishav shalo lasuk b'Torah. Anyone who's capable, anyone who's able to toil in Torah ve'eino osek, and he doesn't toil in Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mivi alav yisurim mechoarin. Hashem himself is going to bring on him ugly sufferings, ve'ochrin oto, and they're going to consume him. They're going to trouble him. Shenemar, like the pasuk says, ne'elamti, I was mute. David Melech said this. Dumya, silent. Hacheshti mitov, I was quiet from good. Uke'evi ne'ekar, and my pain intensified. Let's see this pasuk in the back in the Sefer Amikraot, in Tehillim, Perik Lametet, pasuk Gimel. Let's see it in the back. Oh, Rabotai, we have to see two pasukim. I apologize. Let's do this. I didn't do the other pasuk also. Let me do the other pasuk also. Let me find that. Let me find Tehillim first. Let's do the Tehillim and then we'll go back to the Vayomer Im Shemot Shema. The Sefer Tehillim is on page Tezayin, the Sefer Mikraot, Perik Lametel Pasuk Gimel. It says like this. The commentary explains. Ne'elamti dumya. David Melech says, Kol kach nargil b'shtika, I was so much accustomed to being quiet, bigalut yamim rabim, during this long exile. In the parentheses it says, Shalom niharer, why was he quiet? In order not to question achar midat hadin, in order not to question after the strict justice, after the strict judgment, al atzarot amirubot bo'ot oleinu, and the many sufferings that are coming on us. Ad shena asenu kilem, until we became like mute. The reason why they were quiet, because they didn't want to question HaKadosh Baruch Hu's strict justice. Dumya inyan shtika, when it says of the dumya, it's a matter of being silent. So when it says ne'elamti dumya, David Melech saying that I was silent like a mute. Hechesheti, what does it mean, hechesheti? Shataknu, I was quiet. Mitov, from good. Comes the commentary and he says, Miledaber av divarim tovim, I didn't even speak good things. What are good things? Dahainu afilu midivrei Torah. I was, that which means to say, even from words of Torah, meaning to say, I was quiet from good, meaning I was quiet even from words of Torah. Why? Because I was afraid, because of the ones that would oppress us, meaning the ones that oppressed us. As a result, that I was quiet from the good, I was quiet from learning Torah. The pain that we had experienced was a pain of destruction and distress. So we see from over here when it says, Nilamti dumya, I was mute, I was silent. Hecheshti mitov, when I was quiet from saying even words of Torah. Uke'evin ne'kar, the pain was intensified. Now if we look back into the Gemara, if you look where it says, Hechsheti mitov, what does it mean, Hechsheti mitov mina Torah? I was silent from the Torah. Uke'evin ne'kar makka achura. It was a disturbing blow. So we see over here the fact that David HaMelech was silent from Tov, which is the Torah. What he get? He got a disturbing blow. Same thing with us. When one is able to be oisik in Torah and he's not oisik in Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Rabotai, since you are silent from toiling in Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings on us lo aleinu chas v'shalom, and the one who doesn't toil, he brings on the person ugly sufferings which are gonna trouble him. Since these words, they're next to each other, we learn that one who's quiet from words of Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings on him disturbing blows that he's not going to be able to focus normally. Now, let me just see over here. Yes. So let's just do this one more time. I'll do that passage. Just let's get through this. Ela rather, anyone who's able to toil in Torah, and he doesn't toil in Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mevi alav yisurim mechoarin. Hashem brings on him ugly sufferings, ve'ochrin oto, and they consume him. They're going to trouble him. Shenemar, like the pasuk says, Ne'lamti dumya, hechsheti mitov uke'even ekar. I was quiet, I was mute, because I didn't want to question Hashem's strict judgment. Hechsheti mitov, and I was silent from being even able to learn Torah. And because of that, uke'even ekar. Because of that, like Rashi said, I had disturbing blow. Rabotai, so we see from over here, one who's silent from words of Torah, Chas v'shalom Rabotai, Kadosh Baruch Hu gives him suffering, and those sufferings occupy a person. Those troubles, lo aleinu Rabotai, they occupy a person, Chas v'shalom. They trouble him. What do we need it for? Sit to learn Torah, what's wrong? Now I'm not talking while you're working. While you're working, you're working. When you're with your wife, you're with your wife. With your children, with your children. When you're eating, you're eating. I'm talking about when you're actually out there already learning, toil in Torah. Why are you sitting and listening to Shu'urim, Rabotai? Shu'urim you could do while you're driving. When you're doing other things. After the Shu'ur, maybe. After the toiling, go listen to a Shu'ur that's going to inspire you. I don't know. So he says over here, Ve'ein tov eila Torah. When he says over there, Hechsheti mitov, since I was quiet from Tov, and that's why David HaMelech said his pain intensified, the word Ve'en Tov, the word Tov, the word good, means only Torah. How do we know the word Tov means Torah? Shneimar, the pasuk says, Ki lakach tov natati lachem, Torati al ta'azovu. Because I gave you a good instruction. I gave you a good teaching. The word lekach over here means a good teaching. I gave you a good teaching. Torati al ta'azovu, meaning the Torah itself. Do not abandon it. So we see over here, Ki lakach tov, because I gave you tov, I gave you the Torah, natat lechem to you, Torati al ta'azovu. So one more time, Ki lakach tov, because I gave you a good instruction. What's the good instruction? The Torah. I gave you natat lechem, I gave you the Torah. Ki lakach tov natat lechem, I gave you the Torah. Torati al ta'azovu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu asks us, do not abandon my Torah. Rabotai, before we see this pasuk, let's see this pasuk and then we'll go back there. Again, I should have done it. It's in the sugi right now, so let's go. Let's go to Mishlei Perek Dalet pasuk bet. Mishlei Perek Dalet pasuk bet. I have it on page Yud Chet in the Sefer HaMikraot, Perek Dalet pasuk bet in Mishlei. Ki lekach tov natati lechem torati al ta'azovu, because I gave you a good Torah. Do not abandon my Torah. The commentary says, Ki lekach tov, ko amar Hashem b'mosoro. This is what Hashem said as his instruction. Halo natati lechem lamud tov. Didn't I give you something good to learn? Alta azovu et Torah hahi. Do not abandon that Torah. So you see over here when it says ki likach tov, it's going on that I gave you something good to learn from, which is the Torah, which is the instruction book. So Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling you, I gave you a good instruction, which is the Torah. Do not abandon it. So let's just go back over here one more time. So he says over here, rather say like this. Kol sharlo la'asok b'Torah. Anyone who's possible to toil in Torah, ve'eno say, and he doesn't toil in Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mi'alav yisurim mechoarin. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he brings on him ugly sufferings. And those sufferings, they're going to trouble him. They're going to disturb him. Like the pasuk says, "Ne'alamti dumya, hechsheti mitov uchayven ne'akar." Ve'en tov elo Torah. And we know the word tov is Torah. Like the pasuk says, "Ki lekach tov natati lachem," because I gave you good. Torati al tazov. Do not abandon my Torah. So we see from over here that the word tov means Torah. Amar Rabbi Zeri said, "V'item Rabbi Chanina bar Papa," and some say it was Rabbi Chanina, the son of Papa. Bo'ure, come and see. Shelo ki midat HaKadosh Baruch Hu midat basar v'dam. The ways of Hashem is not like the ways of people. Midat basar v'dam, the ways of a person. Adam mocher chavez lechavero. A person sells an object to his friend. Mocher atzev, lokech sameach. The seller is sad, upset, and the buyer is happy. Rashi says, "Hamocher atzev," the seller is upset. Sheperesh menu davar chashuv kazeh, that it was separated from him such an important thing. So why did he separate? Why did he sell it? Rashi says, "Umitoch dachoko machro," because of the pressure. That's why he sold it. He needed the money, so that's why he sold it. So he's upset, and the buyer is happy. Aval HaKadosh Baruch Hu einakin, but Hashem is not like that. Natan lahem l'Yisrael. Natan lahem Torah l'Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the Jewish people the Torah. V'samech, and he's happy that he gave us the Torah. Shenema, how do we know HaKadosh Baruch Hu is happy? Ki lekach tov natati lachem torati al ta'azovu. Because I gave you good. I gave you the Torah to you guys. Do not abandon my Torah. If you look into Rashi, Rashi says, V'samech, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is happy. How do we know Hashem is happy? Sharei HaKadosh Baruch Hu maziran mila'azov ota. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu warns us from abandoning it. And he praises the Torah before us when he says bilekach tov, by when he says kilekach tov naltach lachem torati al ta'azovu. When did he say this? Before them. Acher shenatna lahem. After he already gave us the Torah, then he went ahead and he begged us, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu warned us not to abandon his Torah, and he was praising how good the Torah is after he gave it. So we see clearly from here HaKadosh Baruch Hu is happy. Rabotai, before we do conclude, let's just see that pasuk of Vayomer im Shemo Tishma L'Kol Hashem Elokecha. That from there even the small children know. Oh, I don't think I even finished the Rashi on this. Okay, let's just do the Rashi review first. Even the small children, they know Torah Migina, that the Torah protects. Shelimdim Sefer Chumash. Maybe I did do it. That they learn from the Sefer Chumash. Im Shemo Tishma. Kol HaMachalei Shar Samti V'Gomer. V'afil HaKitanim Shelo Higi LeSefer Iyov Kvar Lamdu. Even small children that haven't even reached the Sefer of Iyov already learned this pasuk in Shemot. That anybody who learns Torah, anybody who's oisik in Torah, the Torah protects them. Let's go see in Shemot what this pasuk means. Perek Tet Vav pasuk Chav Vav. I have it on page Dalet in the Sefer HaMikraot. The commentary says like this: Vayomer Moshe L'Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu said to the Jewish people, Im Shemo Tishma. Why the double language? Im Shemo Tishma. Meaning to, if you will listen carefully, this, he says, Zok Kabbalah, this is an acceptance. She Kiblu Alhem. Moshe Rabbeinu is telling that they should accept upon themselves the mitzvot. Vayomer im Shemo Tishma. So Moshe Rabbeinu said to the Jewish people, if you're going to listen carefully to the L'Kol Hashem Elokecha, to the voice of Hashem your God, V'yashar be'enav ta'aseh, and you're going to do straight what's in his eyes. He says in the commentary, ta'aseh, hi asiyah, meaning to, that is the doing of the mitzvot. You have to do what is straight in the eyes of Hashem, the way Hashem wants you to do the mitzvot, not the way you think the mitzvot should be done. Ve'azanta, and you listened, limitzvotav, to his commandment, meaning, tateh oznaim ledagdeg behem, tilt your ears to be particular in the mitzvot. Don't do mitzvot by rote, just to get a check mark, but rather you should do the mitzvot in order to be particular, meaning in detail. Every mitzvah should be done in its detail, in its fullest detail. Kol chukav, because v'shamayta kol chukav, and then if one is going to guard all the laws, what does that mean? Divarim she'enem el gzeret hamelech belo shum tam. There are things which are only decreed from the king, meaning from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, without any reason. For example, the red cow, the red heifer. You burn the ashes, you take living water, the person is tahor, the one who's tummy. The tahor person takes the water, he sprinkles on the tummy, he becomes tahor, I become tummy. How did that happen? Nobody understands. A woman going to the mikveh, has a mikveh water, help her become tahor. Sending away the shluchaken, sending away the mother bird and taking the babies. That's going to give you long life. Doesn't make sense. These are all choks. So Rabotai, that's what he's trying to tell you over here. Kiani also, he says, right, if you're going to do all this, if all the sicknesses which I have placed on the Egyptians, I will not place on you. Kiani Hashem Rofecha, because I am Hashem your God. I am Hashem the God of healing, meaning I am Hashem the God that heals. So he says here in the commentary, Torah or mitzvot, and he teaches you Torah and mitzvot. The reason why HaKadosh Baruch Hu teaches Torah and to do the mitzvot, to learn the Torah and to do the mitzvot, why? In order for you to be saved from all them, from all the sicknesses, Rabotai. Chas v'shalom. If a person learns Torah and he does the mitzvot, so you see clearly, even small children know this pasuk clearly. It says, Ki ani Hashem rofecha, u'melamdecha Torah u'mitzvot, and he teaches you Torah and mitzvot in order for you to be saved from the sicknesses. So when a person toils in Torah, he keeps away from himself all these problems. Like this doctor, that he says to a person, don't eat things that are going to bring you back to your original sickness. So this is going on that, Rabotai. So we see from over here that even small children knew this pasuk. So therefore, Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, it could not be the peshat that he said. So that's what Rabbi Yochanan went ahead, and he gave his own peshat and understanding what really you have to say. So, Rabotai, before we do conclude, again, I want to welcome everyone back. Baruch Hashem, we're back in business, back in learning real Torah.